have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
And this should be no surprise to any of us, in the same way that girls see it. They don't see it as a way to feel closer or to have the kind of intimacy that maybe a girl is looking for. They see it as a way to earn stripes or be cool with the other guys. And let me tell you something, girls are doing more giving than they are getting. They are giving the boys the oral sex. Absolutely. Some of the boys aren't even asking them for it, and they are offering it.
Really?
Yes.
And they don't consider that to be sex?
They don't consider that to be sex. They consider that to be outer course as opposed to intercourse. So if your child is having outer course, they're not talking about coursework in history. Okay?
Next, the average American child.
Okay, so what I've just shown you is a brief clip of Clinton saying he did not have sexual relations, and I'd like to extend that to this definition. He meant, and this really did take this definition of literal sex, he did not have contact with Lewinsky's genitalia, anus, groin, breasts, inner thigh, or buttocks. And he claimed that he agreed upon definition of sexual relations included giving oral sex, but excluding receiving oral sex. And then, as you saw on Oprah's video, that monumental episode where she discussed rainbow parties, which have kind of been proven an urban legend, but obviously came from somewhere, was after Clinton had been almost impeached and had defined sex, and so we saw it hit this generation of teenagers, and they would the girls would put different colored lipstick on, and they would give oral sex to the boys, and whoever had like the most colors on their genitals, the boys, wins the game. And so there has been this correlation between our president of the United States defining what sex is, and then this epidemic that was mostly to scare or to get parents communicating with their kids about sex. Because, and Oprah wasn't wrong, girls were definitely not looking at giving oral sex as sex. And so my question to you is, what is sex? If somebody was to come to you and say that they were a virgin, and you were shocked, number one, and you said, "Oh, wow, so you've never given oral sex?" Yes, I've given oral sex, but I've never received oral sex, so I'm a virgin. Or they could say, I've never given nor received, or they could say, I've given and received oral sex, and I am a virgin. Then you have somebody who may say, oh, I've only had anal sex, so I'm a virgin, right? Which would then get into the concept of, well, does it have to be vaginal sex or any, is it entering any orifice of the body? And then is that person who's the receiver the virgin still, or the receptor? And then go into any type of touching. So what your debate would be about is, what you think sex is. If somebody was to say they were a virgin, what defines, I guess, a virgin, or no, not somebody who says they haven't had sex, and base it on some of the textbooks knowledge, give some references to these videos, or watch your own videos, and tell me about, debate about what you consider sex. And I'd like for you to personalize it, but not on the discussion page. But think of, like, if you're married or you have a partner, and they said to you, or they cheated on you, and would one factor, like say oral sex, be different than, or would you be less offended or more hurt if it was oral sex versus vaginal sex, or oral sex versus anal sex? Or would you be more? So I really want you to really think about these definitions of what sex is and what it biologically is. I mean, what it actually is. Is a lesbian who's had many girlfriends, is she, but never had penetration by a penis, is she still a virgin? So really the definition of virgin is what we're debating here. And I want you to stump each other. I want you to challenge each other. But I need you to back it up with research and have fun with this. It's really uncomfortable, but luckily, I'm not even showing my face in this video. So, because it's so embarrassing. Because society has said so. And there were so many topics I could have chosen from, like prostitution, obviously gay marriage, abortion. Those were some, major issues. But this one to me kind of allows us to I don't think we can offend one another because we're not right, because the definition of sex obviously is socialized in this concept, like in this discussion. So it's really your opinion, but you want to back it up with some academic of why you think this way. And that's why I chose it. Have fun.